seen so many people who are desirous of having the right network, but they don't want to put in the work. It demands work. It demands inconvenience. There are times when you don't want to go somewhere, but if it is to help a friend, you have no choice but to be there. If it is to help a friend, why not just go and show the friend love? Before the time comes for you to borrow vessels of that friend, you need to work on that as well. Add value to people. Add value to people's lives. If there is some, you see, just as your network can open opportunities for you, you should also be in a position to open doors for your network. That is the one way in which your network will grow. Open doors for your colleagues. When you come across a newspaper clipping that will be of benefit to your colleague, cut it out, and send it to your friend. Send it to your network, so that when the time comes, you will be able to walk boldly to them and say, hey, my guy, I saw this, or my sister, I came across this, and I think it would help you well. It would help you well. Build a quality network. The day cometh when you will need to go and borrow vessels from them. Please begin building that network now. Use all the means available to you to build the right network. Also, another thing you can do is actually to join professional groups. Join professional groups. It will serve you a lot. And when you go serve. One of the best ways to build the right network is to be someone who serves. Be there for your colleagues. A colleague is falling on hard times. Be there for the colleague. A colleague is celebrating. Be there for the colleague. You are saying, yeah, but I'm investing time. Yes, you are not wasting time. You are investing time in that colleague, so that when the time comes for you to borrow from that colleague, it will not be too difficult for you to borrow from that colleague. Join professional networks. Sign up for all these wonderful courses that are going on around the world. We know we find ourselves in a very turbulent time. Anything that would help society, anything that would be of good society, be part of it. You never know. You have no idea the kind of networks that would open for you. Somebody says that the best deals are signed actually on the golf course, and they are signed somewhere way out of business. Way out of business. You go to a place, you sit there, and you are just maybe helping others. And in that atmosphere of helping others, what that does is that it sets a certain spirit of help. There's help all around. So you are helping others. Somebody turns to you and say, how can I also help you? And before you realize, you're building a very solid network. Learn to put in the work. One of the ways you can put in the work is to be following up on others. You went to a place, you met someone at a conference, you took the person's complimentary card or call card, you handed yours to the person. When you leave that meeting, the next day, send a message to the person. It was great meeting you at this conference yesterday. I hope you go home safely. I hope all is well. Let's link up sometime and let's see how we can help each other out. Brilliant. You're building a solid network. And out of that, you never know where this would lead you. Because the day will come when the prophet will say, go, borrow of thyself vessels from their neighbors. All thy neighbors, and not a few. And that is the day. You know, it's said that you should have a friend before you need a friend. You know that one. Have a friend before you need a friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. If you don't have a friend when you are in need, how would you have a friend? So you should have a friend before you need a friend. Have a friend before you need a friend. Also, in building your network, it's also important to realize that, although I had stated earlier that make sure you work with people who are going in the same direction, they will not necessarily be like you. Not all your friends. I like something that Rabbi Daniel Lapin says a lot. He said, it will be boring to do business with your clone. In fact, he makes it even more humorous when he said, I imagine living with your clone. That would be boring. You know why? He said if you crack the joke, your clone already knows the joke. So when you start, have you heard of this? He say, I've heard of it. It's boring to hang around with your clones. So when you're building your network, you need different kinds of people in that network. Build. I love in my network. I have one person who calls my bluff, and I love that. I appreciate that about him so much. He's the only guy who can tell me straight in the face, my friend, stop misbehaving. That's the kind of friends you need. You don't need everybody towing the same line. All your friends said, let's go party. Then you say, yeah, Charlie, let's go. One of them should say, not today. We ain't going nowhere. We sitting at home, or we doing this, or we're going to exercise or something. You shouldn't have friends that are always to encourage different people with different ideas in your network. You never know. You learn a lot from that. If all your network is about friends who do the same thing, no, you would enjoy it. You wouldn't enjoy it. So it is important for you that on a consistent basis, you're working on your network, calling friends, meeting them, checking on them. The widow was told, go borrow vessels of thy neighbors. Go borrow vessels of thy neighbors. Not a few. Not a few. Let me share a fruitful lesson here. Fruitful lesson. You know the fruit trees. One fruit tree in one location will not make as much rich fruits as a lot of other fruit trees in that location. You know why? If you understand anything about basic horticulture, you realize that when pollination is taking place, what happens? The insect lands on one flower and flies to another flower looking for nectar, leaves the pollen from this flower to that flower, leaves the pollen from this one to that one, leaves the pollen from. The more variety or the vastness of the forest or the place, that the orchard, if I could call it that, it enriches the fruits that come out. It enriches the fruit. Fruits need other fruiting plants around. This tree needs this tree, this tree needs this tree. Do you know that those who produce honey for commercial purposes, there are times when they deliberately will put the hives in certain plantations. Why? Because they know that the variety and the numbers of network of trees in that plantation would enrich the honey that eventually is produced by the bees in that one. It is important. The quality of the honey that will come out will be so rich. Why? Because of the network of trees. That is why here we call it fruitful. It's all about be fruitful. We learn from fruits. The richness of the variety affects the final product. So think about it as you walk around building your own network. One day you need to go and borrow from your neighbors. Borrow from your neighbors, not a few. Borrow from your neighbors, not a few. That is very, very important for the discussion. And as you're thinking about borrowing, look at the varieties of vessels you bring. You are going to have neighbors who are going to give you clay vessels. You are going to have neighbors who are going to give you plastic vessels. You are going to have neighbors who are going to give you wooden vessels. You are going to have neighbors who are going to give you metallic vessels. You are going to have neighbors that are going to give you cylindrical vessels. Some are going to give you round vessels. So many varieties. That is why when you're building your network, it is important that you don't get yourself clones, but you get yourself varieties. But it's important. The prophet said, borrow from all thy neighbors. All thy neighbors. Who is your neighbor? Who are those in your inner circle who would willingly give you their vessels when you knock on your door? Or when you call and they miss your call? How would they return your call? And even if they will return your call, how long would it take for them to return your calls? There are people that you call them, they don't pick up, they forget you called. They cannot be inner circle people. They cannot be inner circle people. You have 5,000 friends on social media on one platform. You go on that platform and said, and no, you don't say anything. You drop a crying emoji. Try it. You go on your, let's use Facebook. You drop a crying emoji. 3 of them. Cry, cry, cry. Out of the 5,000, how many of them will come out there and say, are you all right? Is everything fine? Very few. Very, very few. Out of the 5,000, maybe only 10 will come and check on you. How then do you call them friends? How do you call them friends? Can you borrow vessels from these? They wouldn't even mind you. So think about it. The time comes when you need to build the right network. It should be now. Have friends before you need friends. Begin to cultivate it now. It's a key to your fruitfulness as a business person. It's your key to fruitfulness. The time comes when you need to take advantage of an opportunity. If you don't have those friends around you, how are you going to take advantage of those opportunities? So it is important that you build the right network, build the right people, and then and only then would you be able to take advantage of the time when the prophet comes and says, go borrow vessels. You always never know when that time will come. So build a network now. Be deliberate about it. Don't just allow people in. Don't look at quantity necessarily. Look at quality. Because the vessels you are borrowing from your neighbors is not just for decoration. They are functional. They need to work for you. So know the people that you surround yourself with, so that when they are telling you something, they pouring into you, they pouring the right things into you. Too many of us are not intentional. And it's a big problem where we allow things just around us. You cannot keep doing that. We cannot keep doing the same old things and expect different results. We are told that is a definition of insanity. So think about that. Are you building your network deliberately? If not, this is a cry to you. This is a call to you from Fruitful. We're begging you, go out there and build the right network. And you never know when you will need to go borrow vessels from those same people. You will never know when you need to rush in at a time when they need help. If your friends got to know that you've been rushed to the hospital and you need blood urgently, how many of them will drop what they are doing and come and donate blood to you? Yeah, that's a food for thought. How many will drop whatever they are doing and come donate blood to you? Go and be fruitful. That's the lesson for today. If you've enjoyed this video, there are many more videos out there. You can click on this one, and you would. I'm hopeful that you would enjoy that one as well. In the meantime, what do? Please send me your comments. Let me hear what this channel is doing for you as well. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Whatever else that you can do, we're always available. We'll be leaving you links to what we do in the comment sections below. Hope you have a fruitful life. Till the next video, my name is Jerry Ham, right here at Fruitful.